Alright, so let's take a look around at the Revit Architecture 2010 interface. I'll show you how to open projects, how to move around in the project, how to switch from plans to elevations to sections, and now basics on how to select objects. So I've launched the program, and here's my background screen. It shows a history of some of the projects I've worked on previously. So I could certainly click on one of these to open and run with that project. If there's no history there, if you haven't worked on anything yet, you would just click on the Open button, which will allow you to browse to different files to pick which one you want to open. I'll cancel that for now. Or if you were going to create a brand new project, you click on the New button. It'll give you the opportunity to start from a project template. Actually, click the project, when I click that New button, it remembered the project template I used back the first time, so it opened up directly, so I'll just close that screen. And I'm going to open up the project that you saw in the history right here, so we'll zoom around and pan around, get familiar with that project and look at the interface. So I'll click on that button and it opens up the file. It takes a few moments for it to open. The project files, keep in mind, they contain every construction document for your site, every plan, every elevation, so it's not just one tiny file you're opening, it's the entire project. So let's take a look around the screen, make sure we're familiar with all the parts of the screen. So in the top left-hand corner, way up in that top left-hand corner, the big R, you click on that big R and it gives you all your file management tools: new, open, save, exporting, printing, all that kind of stuff. And if you want to close out of the program, you have that option there, and as well as if you want to tailor any of the custom settings and options, there's a button for that. So I'm not going to spend any time with that right now. To the right of that button, along the top edge, there's what's called the Quick Access Toolbar. It has the tool for opening, saving, undo, and redo, which are currently grayed out because I haven't made any changes in my project. The button that allows you to select objects, it's the Modify tool, a little arrow pointer. Whenever you see the arrow pointer, it allows you to pick and then modify an object. And then a button here to take you to 3D views. This little Monopoly house kind of icon allows you to go to 3D views. And a little triangle at the end allows you to actually customize this toolbar. You can add your own favorites up there. So along the top of the screen, past that, so right at the top says the product name. It also says your project name, so it's the training project. And if you want to see the full name of the project, one of the things you can do is you can move this Quick Access Toolbar by clicking on that little button below what's called the ribbon down here. So just move it out of the way, and then you can see the entire project name. I'm going to move it back to the top for now, though, show above the ribbon. Over here is part of the help system, so if you had a question on a specific function or tool, you can type it in there and hit the button at the end to search. So it's a help find search mechanism. It's called the Info Center. And then below that top line is what's called the ribbon. This is a new interface for Revit 2010. The ribbon has a whole bunch of tabs running across the top here, starting with the Home tab, Insert, Annotate, Modify, a whole bunch of tabs running across here. The first tab, the Home tab, is the tab that you use for creating most of your model building geometry. So you'll notice tools on there for walls, doors, windows, other building components, roof, ceilings, floors, all the different building geometry. And it's on a panel called Build. And all the tools are kind of collected into these individual panels. Some tools called Model for model text and lines, tools for circulation, stairs, ramps, railings, other miscellaneous tools that we'll get to as we move through the session. So each one of these tabs has a collection of tools that are focused on specific tasks, and this first tab is really about building your model. The second tab is the Insert tab for linking CAD and Revit files and exporting information. The third tab is the Annotate tab, where you add dimensions and additional line work and fill patterns and text. The Modify tab is a tab that you're going to spend a bunch of time with. This is a collection of all the tools to modify objects. So after you've placed information from using the tools on the Home tab, you'll often switch over to this Modify tab and use these collection of tools: align, trim, extend, split, whatever tools you need. We'll go through each of those as we move forward. We have a collection of tools for creating massing studies, conceptual massing models of your project, and also site tools, all collected on one tab. A tab called Collaborate for once you get into sharing your project with others in your office or outside of your office. And then a tab called View, and you'll spend a little bit of time with this tab. This is where you go to create new views of your project. And you're probably more familiar with using the term drawings. You have a floor plan drawing and an elevation drawing. In this project, in this tool, we call them views. And I'll show you where all those are located. And if you want to create new views of your project, of your model, you'll be using this tab here. And the last tab is called Manage, and it gives you a bunch of all settings and controls that you may need throughout the program. So that's a quick look at all the tabs that are up there. But you'll notice right now the tab that's the last one is called Manage. Well, it's not necessarily the last one. As you use tools from this tab, other tabs will pop in at the end that are called context-sensitive tabs, meaning as you're using the tool, it'll give you another collection of or subset of tools so you can choose the option you want. If you're watching my screen, I'll go back to the Home tab, I'll click on that, and then I'm going to click on the Wall tool. And when I click on the Wall tool, notice at the very end it changed to Place Wall, giving me a collection of tools that I need for placing that wall. I can choose from the different wall types, and I can choose the various drawing methods, drawing straight lines or rectangles or arcs or different options. And if I hit Escape a couple times, hitting Escape a couple times cancels you out of any command, and you can see the panel returns to where it was before. So at the end of the screen here, as you choose different tools, I'll click Door this time, it now says Place Door, gives you the appropriate options. You hit Escape a couple times, which is, by the way, the same as hitting this Modify button. You hit that Modify button, you're now in a mode where you could select the objects, and your panel goes back to where it was before. Now, one other thing to notice about the tabs along the ribbon, there's a little graphic just past it on the end. If you click on that little graphic, it allows you to minimize the panel so they take a little bit less room on your screen. And what you're seeing is the panel name. So under the Home tab, I had a Build panel. When I hover over top of it, as you can see, the wall, door, window options, all those different options. And you move across the list, just hover over top. It'll expand those categories, giving you whatever tools you need. So that allows you to minimize the panel, the ribbon, so they take up less room on your screen. And if you click it one more time, then that row also disappears, and you're just left with the tabs. In this case, hovering doesn't do the trick. You actually have to click on the tab, and then it'll expand and give you all the tools that you need. Okay, and you move back onto the screen, it'll disappear. For the session, I'm going to click it one more time to expand the tools so I always see the full collection of tools.